on women, and he said full-term mothers as well. You know, and all they're trying to do is move around to be able to get risking their lives to get food and resources for their families, which is a necessity. So what they're going to do, and then you have, and he was saying that he's told numerous times that it's the regime that are doing this to these people, creating that atmosphere of fear. And for me, it's just every news thing that comes out that points to the extreme nature of, especially the Syria conflict. It just shines a bigger light on the international community and their relaxed attitude towards what's going on there. Even before all of this, the Arab Spring started off there, the oppression of the people was extraordinary. People just being taken off the streets just for praying Fajr, just for carrying a Quran down the street, and then subhanAllah, look at them now, and they're still dragging their feet. And this is sending a message to these leaders, and a very obvious message, that you can do whatever you want as long as you're doing what we want you to do on the political scene, on the international scene. You're okay, or unless we have someone better to replace you with. This is the message that they're sending.
I think
so go
also,
ahead and do what you want.
We've become quite desensitized to these kind of stories. If you look at the story as a whole, it's absolutely horrific what's happening. But yet, as a community, we're kind of, okay, we've read that in the papers, right, well, what else is happening around the world? And we almost don't comprehend the reality of the situation there. And that, for me, is really disturbing, that we've come to a point now where we can just read a story like that and then move on. It's absolutely shocking. Well, let's move to our final story now. I've got one here from BBC News. It's a bit more of a brighter note to end this segment. It's Gloucester Islam event to help community understanding. And it's about an event that's taking place in Gloucester, which follows on from an arson attack which happened on the mosque there. And basically, the community has decided to get together, hold this event and just invite people really to kind of engage in community discussion. And I feel like this is a really, really good initiative that's happening in this community, off the back of something which is potentially really, really damaging, and it could harm relations between Muslims and the communities around them. I think they've taken a really good approach to this by inviting people and saying, you know what, we're going to open our doors. You're more than welcome to come and ask any questions that you have. Rather than being quite defensive and closed off about it, they've taken a really alternative approach. I remember Sister Zainab earlier, you were saying that this is a really good thing to do.
It's just, we should have been doing this for a long time. And to be fair to the people in the segment, in the news piece, the brother was saying, I've already been approaching the community and trying to engage with them already. So alhamdulillah, some good work is definitely being done, but we need to be doing more, from our mosques to us as individuals. We need to be getting out there and doing our dawah so that people, they know us, on a personal level, and they know our views, and they, for us to carry dawah to them as well, to talk to them about Islam. Sometimes we work with people, but we don't explain anything to them.
And it's always great to see stories like this, then, alhamdulillah. Well, jazakallah khair, sisters. Before we move to a break, we do have a poll for all of our sisters watching. This week we're asking you, is it hard to hold on to Islamic values living in a Western society? All you have to do is go onto our website, www.islamchannel.tv/programs, and you can cast your vote there. We'll be revealing the poll results on Thursday, so do let others know about it, and you can get your opinion into count, inshallah. We'll see you in just a few minutes when we delve straight into our main discussion in Her Views, where we discuss crime in society. We'll see you in just a few minutes, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Naturally restore, relieve, refresh and protect your skin with Medina Healthcare's Heavenly Moisture Face Cream. With a refreshing black seed oil formula and using only the purest ingredients, Medina Healthcare's Heavenly Moisture is ideal for Hajj and Umrah and is certified by the HFA and Vegan Society. The Heavenly Face Cream contains no perfume and provides intensive moisture for every skin type. Medina Healthcare, enhancing your well-being, both physically and spiritually.
The Yusuf Islam Foundation presents Islamia Girls' School. Established 25 years ago, we are a secondary girls' school ranked amongst the highest in the London Borough of Brent. In 2013, students took an average of 14 GCSEs, and over 60% of all GCSE grades were A-star to A. Our subjects include the full national curriculum, plus art Arabic, food tech, and much more. We also offer an exciting array of after-school clubs. Come and visit us to see how your daughter can benefit.
Hajj, a journey to the blessed land, a journey to the house of Allah, a journey you will never forget. To perform this spiritual journey of a lifetime, start saving with Oasis today. Invest in your future. The Oasis Crescent Way, the compliant way. For more information, visit our offices at 50 Hands Crescent, Knightsbridge, or call us on 0808 238 7543.
Southwest Pakistan has been struck by 2 devastating earthquakes. Muslim Hands has a dedicated team on the ground to help the people affected. Thousands are now left open to the elements as weather conditions change. Help us save lives, so together we can provide food, shelter and medical aid immediately. Your urgent help is needed to an already impoverished area. Visit muslimhands.org.uk or call us today.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, and welcome back, sisters. You're watching Women's AM with myself, Hassana, and on the panel joining me today we have Zainab, Ayan, and our special guest today, Sister Rukhsana. So alhamdulillah, we're so pleased to have you here, Sister Rukhsana, and you're a solicitor. I'm really intrigued by that. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, inshallah.
Okay, well, I'm very newly qualified, so for the legal world, I'm pretty much a baby. I qualified in April, maybe.
MashaAllah.
And it's just gone so quickly. I did my 2 years training, and I am currently doing some litigation work. The firm that I work for does property, mainly the high street sort of areas of law, but it's very interesting. I'm enjoying it very much.
Alhamdulillah.
So what are office politics like then in the litigation sector?
It's not too bad. I think you get more politics with other lawyers because they tend to sort of consume the grievance of their client a little bit more. So it's quite interesting when you come against against lawyers where they just they're barking at you down the phone and you're like, okay then. sort of.
It's funny because lawyers have quite a bad reputation for being a bit corrupt. Just generally, I don't know. Well, what would you say? Because that sounds very sincere.
Well, we were taught in law school that there are 2 people in this world you can trust, your mother and your lawyer.
Right,
okay.
It's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah, well, I think there is a sort of Hollywood persona of what a lawyer should be, standing up in court, you know, sort of objecting to everything, but in practice it's not anything like that. It's not. Most lawyers, I hope, are quite straight cut and they sort of practice what they preach.
Okay. Alhamdulillah. Well, it's always interesting to find out about other career fields. Alhamdulillah, jazakallah khair. Well, moving on now to today's topic, let's go straight to her views, where we'll be discussing the effects of crime in society. Understanding the crime levels in the UK is an extremely confusing process. Whereas the media repeatedly makes claims that crime is on the decrease, our daily experiences and news coverage seems to paint another view. With the decrease in police on the streets and the feeling of insecurity rising for many, what is the truth behind these claims? We'll be looking at why crime appears to be on the rise and if Islam can address these issues and if there's anything we can do to keep ourselves and our loved ones safe. Well, before we go to the sisters, let's take a look at this clip on the matter.
A few years ago, Adela Aranda fulfilled her dream of buying a house next door to her 41-year-old son and her grandson. She thought her life would be calm, 60 kilometers outside of Buenos Aires. But on the morning of January 18th, while resting, she was startled by noises coming from the house of her son.
I heard noises and I got up. I jumped out of the window and I saw the police chasing a criminal. Then when I closed the window and entered the house of my son, our houses are linked at the back, my grandson said, "Grandma, they killed Dad."
The police patrolling near the site managed to immediately catch the murderer, but the surprise came when they identified the detainee. The young man, with a long criminal history, was only 15 years old, which, according to Argentine law, means he could not be convicted and had to be released. The crime sparked a major debate in Argentine society about the age at which minors can be prosecuted.
We are all surprised. Such young people going into crime. We need to work on changing laws. There is no other way.
The age of criminal responsibility in Argentina is one of the highest in the region at 16. In other Latin American countries, including Mexico, Venezuela and Brazil, the age is just 12. Many believe the age needs to be lowered.
The position of our government is very clear. For over 2 years we've been proposing that the National Congress make changes to the juvenile criminal justice law, lowering the age of legal responsibility for serious crimes, intentional crimes.
However, others doubt that such a change would make Argentina a safer place.
The debate has to be far wider. For example, the discussion on where they will hold minors who are 16, 14 or 12 or 13 years old, where they are going to stay, under what conditions are they going to be held, what happens in these places. Are there places where kids are going to readapt or not?
The accepted process of putting criminals in prison as a means of punishment and rehabilitation has increasingly come under fire. Britain is one place that locks up more people than anywhere else in Europe.
Locking people up, that's the easy bit. It's getting people out that's the difficult bit, getting them out such that they don't come back.
But so far, the government's promises of improved regimes for work and training in prisons have failed to materialise.
I know it sounds a bit of a cliche, but prisons are further education colleges of crime. You can go into prison, as I did, knowing not only how to hotwire a motorbike, and come out with vast amounts of knowledge. That's what prisoners do.
With tens of thousands of people released from prison every year, until governments can come to grips with what's happening on the inside, prisons will continue to risk the safety of everyone on the outside.
Well, a really interesting clip there. Do you think crime is on the increase? We'd like to invite you to join in our discussion. You can call in live to the show, inshallah. The number will be appearing on your screens shortly. Well, a really interesting clip there. What did you sisters make of that? Sister Zainab.
You know, it's interesting that they're talking about lowering the age of conviction. And they have a similar problem here, that especially gangs that deliberately use children who are under the age of 16 to be able to, I don't know, do all kinds of illegal activity, because they know they'll just get released, or they basically they won't go to jail, essentially. Instead of really dealing with the crux of the issue. This is the thing, it's, yeah, you can make punishments more severe, you can lower the age, you can do all these things, but no one's asking the question, why is there a 15-year-old going into someone's house and killing people? That's not normal for a 15-year-old, you know, this is not right. So they're not asking questions about society, why these children are turning out the way they are. You know,
I thought it was really interesting in the clip there that one of the ex-offenders was saying that actually these are higher institutes of learning for some of the prisoners, because they don't have access to that kind of perhaps education or whatever else it is, and they go in with a certain type of knowledge and then they come out with something else. So I do find it interesting that perhaps prison culture for many isn't as negative, and it's not